Over to our political correspondent Tom Harwood, who's over in Westminster at College Green. Tom, what's happening?
That is the question on everyone's lips. But yes, as you were just discussing there, an exclusive story from the Times newspaper indicates that the Chancellor may well be sacked today. That would make him the shortest serving, or I should say the second shortest serving Chancellor in the history of the United Kingdom. Second shortest only because the shortest serving Chancellor happened to die 1 month into the job, which really I suppose is not his fault. So when we're coming to where we are today, this is the most extraordinary situation. A government that sees its authority draining away by the minute. Only 3 hours ago, Number 10 was putting out the line that the Chancellor and the Prime Minister are in lockstep. And now we are expecting the Chancellor to lose his job today. And the Prime Minister alone, we understand, as things stand, to make a press conference, one of these famous press conferences we got to know so well during the era of COVID. Those press conferences in that briefing room in Number 9 Downing Street that remind us all of times of crisis. Well, the Prime Minister will stand at that Downing Street lectern in that room and announce, we understand, that she is reversing her signature policy plank. The policy plank that got her elected as Prime Minister in the first place by the Conservative Party membership. The policy plank that she defended spiritedly on Wednesday afternoon at Prime Minister's Questions, standing at the dispatch box of the House of Commons, saying that it would be wrong to raise taxes at a time when the government is trying to attract inward investment to the United Kingdom, that it would be wrong to raise taxes on businesses as the country faces recessionary conditions, that raising taxes on businesses, in the words of the Prime Minister, could bring in less revenue. Well, this afternoon it's expected she may well say the opposite. It's the most extraordinary turnaround, almost impossible to see how it can be justified.
Tom, I just wondered, do we know exactly where the Chancellor is? Because, I mean, it's bad enough to be sacked, I suspect. But to have somebody tell the Times that you've been sacked when you've not been told yourself seems to be a particular kick in the proverbials. I mean, where is he? Has he got back yet? Will he be reading this on his text message that he's coming back to be sacked?
Yes, his plane landed around half an hour ago. He has got out of the plane now and is in a government car, a government convoy, the last I saw, hurtling his way back to London. Now, I've been trying to contact some of his advisors. I have to say I haven't had any responses yet, perhaps understandably, but really it does look like this is likely the end of the road for the Chancellor, and that is a very difficult position for the Prime Minister. It's hard to emphasise how close a pair of MPs, Liz Truss and Kwasi Kwarteng, were. They both got elected in 2010. They wrote a book together. They'd been ideological allies in the House of Commons for a long time and were expected to form an incredibly close partnership between Number 10 and Number 11, a closer partnership than any Chancellor and Prime Minister for quite some time. And of course, there's the British political tradition of Chancellors and Prime Ministers growing grudges against one another, whether it's Rishi Sunak and Boris Johnson, Philip Hammond and Theresa May, Blair and Brown famously, of course. This was supposed to be so very different. And yet now it looks to ensure her own political survival, the Chancellor is being thrown under a bus.
Tom Harwood, thanks ever so much for giving us that latest update. If you do hear from any of Kwasi Kwarteng's allies, please let us know.
I'm sure he will.
We'd love to.